So that horse right there, and this horse right here, and that little buckskin right there are all related. And this one is an attention hog. That's the mother of that one. And the little buckskin out there. Alright, she's trying to photobomb me. But that little mare out there normally is sticking with these two right here and not that paint right there. Let me tell you a little story. That paint is an old mare. I don't know, she's probably 24 or 25. And yesterday we sold her daughter and her daughter's buddy that had been born on this farm years ago. She lived in a different pasture with those two horses. And the little buckskin lives back here with her brother, this guy right here, and her mother, which is that bay right there. But when the other two horses left yesterday, I opened the gate between the two fields so that that pinto right there could come back here and be with the other horses. She walked about halfway back in this pasture and whinnied, and that little buckskin was way back in the back, and she came running up to that paint mare right there. And the paint mare turned and started walking back towards the front pasture where she was. And that little buckskin mare turned and walked with her. And she has been stuck like glue to that old mare ever since. That's very touching to me. It's like she's trying to comfort her. The old mare was calling out yesterday to her daughter and the other horse that she's normally with. And she couldn't find them. And the little buckskin mare went up front with her, and they walked around together looking. And there they are. As Snazzy calls for her daughter, Tad responds, and she's coming up here. She normally lives in the back with the other two horses. But she's coming and she's sympathizing with Snazzy, who's alone. Come quickly, Lord Jesus. These horses normally don't hang out together. But Tad is sympathizing with Snazzy. It's beautiful. So I wanted to let you know that story about the horses because of a situation, I guess, that I face currently, and some things that it made me think about spiritually, I guess. Just let me share. If you follow our channel, you know that I'm dealing with Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, and it's kind of been a bear to beat for many reasons. One, because there's other issues with my health that I've dealt with, and one is a major issue, and that's mold toxicity, and also autoimmune disease that was triggered by one of these infections, I don't know. And then yesterday I also found out that I have a huge abscess at the base of one of my teeth, which I hope to be able to treat naturally, but I may not be able to, so I may be facing some more oral surgery, which I had already. At the beginning of this year, 2022, I had to have a cavitation repaired, and I had to have another tooth extracted that had an infection. Apparently, what I'm learning is that problems with the teeth goes hand in hand with mold toxicity. It seems like a lot of people that I'm counseling with that have mold toxicity are having major issues with their teeth. So yesterday was when all of this hit, I found out, that I'm still dealing with mold toxicity. I found out about my tooth situation. I already wasn't feeling well because of the tick disease. If you don't know, Rocky Mountain spotted fever does significant damage to the endothelium, which is the inner lining of your blood vessels. And that damage causes a lot of blood clots, and it causes leaking, and it causes a lot of pain. And so, excuse me, that's been kind of tough to deal with. And then yesterday we sold those 2 mares, and so everybody on the farm is sort of grieving the loss of those 2 very sweet little mares. And it seemed expeditious. It seemed the best decision to make, to sell them, both for my mother here on, this is her farm, and for them, really, because they're very good horses. And I was the one when I lived at home that really did the breaking and training, and I don't really have the strength and energy right now to work with so many horses. And so the one that I'm working with is that little buckskin mare that you saw in the video. But yesterday, when I saw that little mare reach out with such sympathy toward the old mare who lost her 2 companions, one of which was her daughter, it was so touching to me to see how God puts it in the heart of his creatures to sympathize with one another. And it was just incredible to watch. I took some video footage of it yesterday, and I'm not sure if I can edit that into this, but I'll try to do that so that you can see. But I wish I had videotaped the actual when the old mare came to the middle of the pasture and called out to the other 3 horses, and that young buckskin mare coming to meet her. She left her mother and her brother to come and meet this old mare, and when the old mare turned and started walking towards the front again, the little buckskin just stayed right with her all the way up into the front, and she's still with her, although they have joined the other horses in the back pasture now. But here's the crux of why I'm sharing all of this. The whole thing has moved me to tears, not only because of my own experience, but because, the name of our ministry is Closure for Jesus. And all of this has made me think of the need of Christ for sympathy, because just recently I had the gal that built our web store, she knows about my health struggles, and she spent 2 days fasting and praying for me. She's not even of my faith. And then I had another friend of mine from out west tell me this morning. Now this morning I woke up and I told the Lord, I'm done. I'm tired of fighting. I'm just tired of hurting, tired of fighting, tired of doing remedies and taking stuff, and I'm just done. And then I got a message from this friend in Arizona this morning, and she said, I want you to know I'm on my knees before God in worship, and I'm going to fast and pray for you. And that gave me such courage. I just burst into tears, and I appreciated that so much. And I remember the closing scenes of Christ's life. He did not have that support. He did not have the prayers of his friends. And right now, we're on the scene of stupendous changes and crises in this earth. And so many are going to make that final decision, and they're going to go to a Christless grave. And how do you think that's going to make the heart of Jesus feel? He needs our sympathy. He needs us to identify with him right now in these closing scenes. And so, as I share these things in my own personal experience, I just want to invite you to join me in seeking closure for Jesus. And we can do that by giving him our hearts and cooperating with him in his final work. And if you don't understand what that work is, I encourage you to watch other videos on our channel. Reach out to me. I'll share with you. I'll send you literature. I'll talk with you. I'll email you. See you in the next video.